moisture up a little bit, so we timed this about right. So let's get a little bit of history on the plot, I guess. It's you all know how this has gone this year. It's been a lot of fun. Farming's so much fun. I wake up in the morning, I'm about ready to go back to bed. I had to give an optimistic speech earlier anyway, but that's kind of how it felt all summer, it seems like. But as far as moisture-wise here, I can't even tell you exactly what I've had for moisture. I usually go off my climate field view. It said we had about 7 inches in this field here. With the next field over, it said about 17 inches, so I guess about right the county line, right the road right there is about maybe 12 inches, I guess. So I'm not sure exactly what it's been, but you know, honestly, we're probably in that 9 or 10 inch range for this year in this field since planting season. Started off super wet. I'm not even going to lie to you about the first middle of June. I wish I planted more corn. I'm kind of glad I really didn't plant more corn this year. Well, I went back to switch back to all my grain sorghum. And, you know, standard, I'm going to say basic plan for me. I put down 80 pounds of N, 40 pounds of PD10 zinc, the dry application across the top of it before I planted it. When this, of course, like I said, it was so wet. I think it rained the 5th of July here about, so I was supposed to spread some dry right before that. I put 30 pounds of dry over the top. I believe it was 7th of July. It never really did rain until about, a week ago anyway, so I'm not sure where all that nitrogen went anyway, but it is what it is anyway. So you will see a little bit of splotching on the leaves. I'm not sure if that was me spraying paraquat across the road, but probably the majority of that was the nitrogen. Just never did get a rain off to watch that fertilizer anywhere. But other than that, I kind of went back. That for whatever reason I got a good deal on some Lumax. I haven't run Lumax for a few years on my weed programs. But honestly, I'm going to say if it doesn't rain, it doesn't really matter what you're running. You're not going to have a big weed pressure problem anyway. But Lumax worked out pretty good. Honestly, I'm usually a kind of a verdict full-time guy like that. But as you can see, I've not broken any weeds out of here this year. It's been good. We'll see. I don't know. That last rain here, we got about 1 inch here probably a week ago. And I think honestly it's probably going to help a little bit the fuller season stuff. We'll see. I think, of course, some of the plants are already starting to shut down and turn rows hopefully won't fall over. But as I do say, on a bad year, you know what, you probably learn more from a bad year than you do a good year, so it's going to be one of those years, so try to find the positive with the negative anyway, but at least there's going to be some bushels out here to harvest. Alright, that being said, we're going to get started here on the east and work our way to the west. We'll just kind of work our way through it. Questions, be sure to ask. We're going to record this for all the DSMs. We will have this a virtual option if people weren't able to make it. You guys just kind of all know the routine here anyway, so we're going to start east and work our way west. And it's all listed here. If you have want to make notes, be happy to do that or ask questions if you can.
Have you harvested some violet?
Nope, did not.
Some of your neighbors?
Yes, they did. So. Shoot, didn't put that on their. June 8th, yep. That's probably honestly the latest I've ever planted it before, but I got a whole bunch in the ground. Like the stuff here is planted before Memorial Day, and I can't remember, we got how many inches of rain Memorial Day weekend, but it was definitely I think a 2-week breather there, it seemed like. So. Well,
That's the last of all.
Yes, pretty much. We've all finished the last couple of days there. June 8th was the time this got wrapped up.
Arrow Seed Company out of Broken Bow, and it was good to see quite a bit of grain sorghum between here and home on the drive down here, way more than I've seen for a long time. That was really encouraging, good to see. We've got 3 of our hybrids in here. Actually, I think we must have had something labeled a little bit backwards, because this is definitely AS212. It's our short early. Great double crop option with that one. It's a little bit of a chameleon. It takes a little longer to get to half bloom, but once it's there, it finishes quick. Great option if you can get weed out quick, get it out early, and then if you got any moisture, this one should finish just about right. This is a second or third year in the plot. It's usually a little bit taller than this. Last year, I think this one was about head high. It's got really good grain exertion. It's going to go dryland or irrigated. It's got really, even though it can get pretty dang tall, it's got really strong roots, strong stems, so it stands good. We've never seen any lodging problems with it, and we hope it does well this year. If it does, we'll probably move forward with a hybrid number. Again, that's ASX20 here and AS212 there, shorter early. And then we have our white food grade. It's probably just a medium early, good right in the middle of the road there. It is sugarcane aphid tolerant, more of a dryland variety for us. Got good drought tolerance, really pretty good yield stability. We see it the 120 to 140 pretty much all the time. I would say this one has, for its maturity, has some really good potential. Here we see 120 to 130 usually. It's become really popular in South Dakota, and we're seeing it go up to a 150 up there. I don't know what's so much different up there about it, but it's, boy, if you get the right conditions, it can go a long ways for a really early hybrid. Thank you.
My name's Morgan Schilling. I'm with LG Seeds, and our sorghum brand is Golden Acres. Cody Broomfield's over there too. We share the same sorghum brand. He's with AgriGold, so he might be able to answer some of your questions too. So running down the line here, these are 4 of our kind of main products we use in this region, especially for dry land. Starting down there, 2730. That's just been a consistently solid product for us. Not always going to win a plot, kind of like Troy was referring to, but it's always towards the top. Excellent drought tolerance, good standability, and really good head exertion on that one. And then down there is 2620C. It's a lot like 2730. It's a cream, of course. It's got a tighter head, but it packs the grain in pretty good. That one is one we're probably going to use on a little tougher acres. 2730's got a little better top end potential, whereas 2620 we can put it about anywhere. We're going to have good luck with it. And then right over here, this short little guy is 1510C. That's a 2-year-old product. It's replacing one of our older ones. That product we've seen really good luck with, especially in eastern Colorado, and now we've started moving it west here. Obviously, as you see, it's probably the shortest one in the plot, so it doesn't look too impressive plant-wise, but we do get a good canopy out of it. The other thing is it yields right with a lot of these medium earlies and mediums, so that's what we really like to see. If your harvest gets late, we're not going to have an issue with it falling down or anything like that. The other big point on that one is it does really well if you got some high pH soils, and it's also sugarcane aphid tolerant. Last one's 3180B. This one's also a new one. We brought it on last year to replace one of our other mediums. This is our longer one out of these. I believe it's 67 day to mid-bloom. This one's kind of more of your top dog. If you're gonna put the nitrogen to it, put the goods to it, you're gonna get the return on it. You can dual purpose it, dry land or irrigated. Main thing with it, we see pretty good head exertion. The only time is when we get on some pretty rough terraces. Sometimes we won't see quite as good exertion. The heads are pretty tight, but it really does pack the grain in well, so you'll see the yield there. And this one's also got high tolerance to sugar cane agent. That's about all I got for these four.
Hi, my name's Troy Wiested. I'm with Hoegemeyer Hybrids. This is my fourth year with the company. Before that, I was with New Tech, which was brought together with a merger when Corteva brought together DuPont and Dow. In this plot, I have 4 different varieties. The one that I lean on the most and promote the most is 6064, which is there towards the end. As you can see, the berries are just starting to get that change of color. It's a little bit tighter. Doesn't have quite much of the head exertion, but the berries are right there above that flag leaf. I've been with Mike, well, probably 10 years doing plots with this company, with New Tech and Hoegemeyer, and that variety's followed me all those 10 years. And within those 10 years, I've always been in the top 5 or 6. I never win, but I'm right there on the top, which is a good thing. The one I'd promote next would be the 6037. This is its second year out. As you can see, it's getting a good change in color right now. The berry field's doing well. And the third number I really truly promote, I'm excited to have is a cream in the family, the 6041. This one just got released for this coming year. We'll have full supply of it. So as far as yield, we'll let the combine tell the story. I just want to thank everybody for supporting sorghum. And I've never seen so much sorghum acres I've had this year. So thanks again. And you.
I'm Brooks Bren with Pioneer, so just took over the territory manager role this year. Chris Weber's a new field agronomist with us, so if you got questions on the lineup, just find us out here somewhere. 86P20 is one we'll start with. It's kind of the old standby. It's one of the protector series for sugarcane aphid tolerance as well. Above average on high pH, and just one of those tough ones that can stand very well in a lot of different conditions. It also can be a dual purpose product for that dryland or irrigated acre. 88P71 is a relatively new one. It's only a couple years old. It replaced 87P06. Just stability with some nice top end yield potential. Really gives a nice boost to yield over what 87P06 did, but very good standability on it and a really nice long head on it. So a little deceiving when you look at those with those semi-open heads with the length on them, but you start weighing those side by side, there's a lot of grain in this one. So really excited to see what this did. It also did really well in our high pH trials last year. 85 P58 is a brand new one for us this year, so it's one of those that can be that dual purpose for dryland or irrigation. But primarily for us, as we move this far west, we're looking at that more that best dryland scenario to full irrigation with it. So some nice top end potential with some good overall ability to withstand some stress for that fuller season dryland acre. Never know when that stress is going to get here when you get those late rains, so you can spread out the maturities in the lineup to give you a little more yield stability. And the last one that we'll talk about is 86 Y89. So it's been around for a couple of years. It's got some nice top end potential for a fuller season dryland. So that was a 110, this one's a 113, so give you some nice options in there on the fuller season side of things. It also work as well for that irrigated acre, but this will give you a little bit more top end potential with 85 P58. But nice stability, a little bit better top end yield just to kind of spread out your risk and maturity with the hybrids. Thank you.
Coming out today, we got 4 hybrids here like pretty much everybody else. We've got 2 of our new iGrowth hybrids, and then we've got 2 conventionals. We're starting out with the 2168 IG. It's a medium season red color. It's also in our Aphix lineup, so not only is it herbicide tolerant, but it is also sugarcane aphid tolerant as well. Great product. This is a thing that can go on dryland, tough dryland, all the way through really good irrigation. We've been looking at them for quite a while. The 1120 comes across from our Australia lineup. So 2 things that it doesn't like to do in Australia: it doesn't like to cool down, and it doesn't like to rain. So this is a product here that is incredibly drought tolerant. You can see the head exertion on it is really tremendous, which is good for if a guy is in a cattle operation, he's going to graze it. He can come through and he can take those heads without throwing all the plant through the back of the combine. Next, 1153 is a medium early. It is in our Aphix lineup as well. This is a product that really good tolerance to drought conditions, stress tolerance. The last product over there is the 2275. It is a medium season, 68 day to mid bloom. So it's a little bit long. I'm going to say that we're in about the northwest corner of where you would want to plant that. Going east, going south, it's a real good play. It does good right here, but this is about as far as you want to take it to the north and west.
Hello everyone, my name is Tom Carpenter, DSM for channel. Talk about our different varieties here. First one we've got on the far east side there is 5R45. Definitely it's got a good stress tolerance on it. It is actually our only red lineup that we have. It's got excellent sugar term aphid. It's great. It's got great standability late season. So if you run into a late harvest, it does have good standability. Real tight head. This next one here is 5C76. This is our food grade we've got out this year. This is actually my first year of looking at it. Real impressed with it. As you can see, I don't even have the label on it yet. So basically, it's got excellent, sugar corn aphid again too. It's got good head exertion. It's got a high yield capability. Next we got here this 6B95. This is the first year out for this hybrid. I've been kind of watching it this year. It's basically going to be called, they're calling it a racehorse. There's an extreme high yield potential. Head exertion is good height on it. The only piece we're kind of watching for is I want to see what late season standability. That's the only piece right now that's out there as a question on it, so we're going to kind of keep a close eye on that. And the far west one there of our lineup is 6B55. That one did exceptional like 2 years ago on this plot. It would have been our #1 seller this year, but they had a snafu in logistics and basically blended 2 seeds together, so we had to cancel. All we had is the plot bags out of that, so you will not see much of that out, but it would have been our #1 product sold. So, and there it's a little bit shorter Milo. The head doesn't stand up a whole lot, but like I say, based on that, what we've seen is it's got great standability, high yield. Just an overall outstanding performance on there, and that is roughly like a 65 day to mid bloom is how we calculate ours. So again, thanks for everybody for coming.
Hello everybody, I'm Larry Heyer. I'm the Sorghum Partners rep for this area. S&W Seeds is the name of our company, and we use the Sorghum Partners brand. We got 4 hybrids here, but the 2 here are kind of experimentals. Won't spend much time on them because we don't know if they will move on or not. But the first one is the 43M80. It's a medium early. It's got full sugarcane tolerance, stiff stock, stay green on it. I think it finished probably in the top 5 here last year. It's a really, really good hybrid from Texas all the way to Dakotas. It's probably our #1 selling hybrid. We've done really well with that hybrid. It has a pretty long grain fill period, so usually gives you some pretty good test weight. Works great on high pH and really exerts that head even under stress. So like I said, these 2 experimentals, they're both kind of mediums, the medium fulls. We're checking them out. We're not going to spend a lot of time on them. We'll know if we're going to advance them here probably this winter. But the last one is 68M57. It's a medium hybrid. Has done really well. It's been out for a long time, and it used to be probably our #1 seller before 43M80 came in. Really high yield, really good drought stress. It's moderate on sugar canes, which you guys probably don't even deal with up here, but been a really good strong hybrid for us. The last thing I want to just talk about a little bit is the double team that we're coming with next year, which is going to be the herbicide tolerant Milo. Ours is coming out full advance next year. We'll be using the Kazalaflop. Herbicide is going to be first act, so it's going to be a grass herbicide over the top. It's going to get most of all your grasses, shatter cane, volunteer corn. We're pretty excited about having some technologies in sorghum, which we haven't had forever, so we're going to try to catch up with the corn boys, I guess. We have 5 hybrids, I think, coming next year. One's a very early, 2 earlies, and a couple mediums. So good dryland hybrids. We put them in some existing hybrids that we've already had. So We've got quite a few, several plots out this year. We'll get some yield data on, and we've got about 4,000 to 5,000 acres of it out this year. We had to do some channeling this year, and it was just kind of a pilot program. So have about 40 growers from Texas to the Dakotas and a little bit of Pennsylvania that we put out this year. So we're pretty excited about it. And if you got any questions about it, catch me later on or go on the sorghumpartners.com website, and you can read a little bit more. So thanks.
Ready?
So I won't take too long here. I don't want to stand between you and the beer and the dinner, so I'll be short and sweet to the point. So we have 3 of our newer products featured in here. This 2780 is actually our earliest one that we offer from the Decal brand. It's actually really a placement for 28E for those of you who used that in the past. Seeing a good fit with it across Colorado and the southwest corner of Nebraska. Being an earlier product, you know, it doesn't, you're not getting rushed on harvest or running the chance of getting frost on it, right? $29.95, that was a new product last year as well. It's really kind of iconic for its deep dark red green color to it. Kind of a complement product for $29.28 for those of you who use that. It's going to have a touch more stress tolerance than this 2780, but the advantages or the disadvantages is a touch longer, right? Not entirely too much longer, but just a touch. Thing with it, you know, is it's going to have that stress component package to it, just like 2928. But the advantage is it has a little more top end to it. So if you guys are thinking of putting it on maybe kind of a short style well, where it's only going to get a few waters, hopefully Mother Nature can help you out a little bit. That's one that can chase a little bit more top end versus your 2928. But if you get into a year like this where we don't get that fair time kind of rain, it's one that can handle some stress, especially the pre-flower, post-flower. 3607, that's actually an aphid tolerant product. It's predominantly a little bit more used as you move south into Kansas where they need that sugarcane aphid tolerance. I actually prefer 3816, and more specifically prefer it when we're going into an irrigated situation where you're really trying to chase top end yield. That one brings a little bit more to the table. It's a little bit longer, so this is kind of the line where I'd say you wouldn't want to go too much farther west from here where you get yourself in trouble. Go east, and it has a lot of top end to it. The 3607, it will rival it, but the 3816 is just a little bit more dominant when you don't need that sugarcane aphid tolerance. So that's kind of my spiel. If you got any questions, I'll be around. Hit me up. Thank you.
Hang on a second.
Good.
So I'm trying to get a walk through here. That way everybody can see.